is the hardest part of being a foreign nurse or coming from the Philippines? So coming to America is totally a new way of life. If you're new to this channel, my name is Robie. I'm a Filipino registered nurse based here in New Jersey, and I'm on a mission to continue support immigrant nurses to build a meaningful career and life in America. So I'll share inspiration, lifestyle, and also travel and celebrate life in and out of nursing. So what got me into nursing? I actually have had a video on that, what got me into nursing. So I will be going to share the link below. And briefly, what got me into nursing is when my father died, my mom really pushed me to continue nursing. It was not my first choice of career. You know, Filipino moms, Filipino culture, most of our mothers, they want their children, daughters to do nursing and eventually work abroad, like work in America. So my story would be probably like an old story. I feel I'm a grandma already. Your nursing profession, because I've been in America for like 2 decades. But I started my nursing in Bicol University. That's where I graduated. And after passing the board exam, I started my work at Philippine Heart Center. And I did different specialties in nursing at Philippine Heart Center, which is ultimately gave me the confidence and the skills to look into opportunities abroad. And at that time, there's a couple of recruiters visiting Philippine Heart Center, and I know Filipino nurses holds a unique presence in American healthcare system. So there's a lot of recruiters coming to the Philippines, and two of the recruiters that I was able to communicate to were from Johns Hopkins and also from this hospital where I am currently working. So I was actually hired by Johns Hopkins. There's a lot of applicants, and fortunately, there's like 10 of us got hired, but I wasn't able to go because I got pregnant with my second baby. So I waited for a couple of years until these New Jersey recruiters came to visit Philippine Heart Center. So my second baby was actually like 1 year old at the time. So I was not into really leaving that soon, but they had asked me if I am interested to apply because they're looking for a highly specialized open heart recovery room nurse. So at the time I was working in recovery room open heart at Philippine Heart, so they were kind of impressed and amazed by how we do nursing, our equipments, and the skills. It was a tough interview, but I was able to get through it. And they asked me for an additional interview. I forgot what hotel was it. I think Manila Hotel, where the applicants go. So I submitted all the applications, and it started from there. So if you have to ask me, is it a direct hire? Yes, it is a direct hire from the hospital because the human resources and the nurse managers from the hospital were the ones who came and interviewed us and gave the job offers. So at the time, I was offered for recovery room, open heart, and probably took a year and a half with all the processing. So because it is a direct hire, all the processing fees, documents, including the airfare, were shouldered by the hospital. And it is an immigrant visa. So for the processing of my husband and my two kids, I was the one who shouldered for that. So why did I prefer a direct hire? Direct hire, there's no cut from your salary because if you go for an agency, there is normally a cut of 15 to 20% from your salary. It could be different from other states, but that is what I had researched from recruiters. So if you could wait a little bit more and do a direct hire, I would really strongly suggest you go for a direct hire from the organization. So we were hired before taking the NCLEX exam. I was actually 3 months already in America before I took the NCLEX exam. I did the self-review while working full-time night shift, 8 hours night shift, for 3 months before I took the NCLEX. So our condition was at that time If you pass the NCLEX exam, you're going to continue practicing your nursing, registered nursing, of course. But before that, we are working under the supervision of a USRN licensed nurse. So we're still like on the orientation period, 3 months. But within that, you're supposed to, the expectation is you have to pass the NCLEX exam, all right? It's a lot of pressure during the time. And but if you don't pass the NCLEX, then you're going to do a nursing aid position. You will still stay employed, but you will be doing a nursing aid or a patient care associate position until you pass the RN license. So that was during our time. Then how was the transition? Actually, it's a culture shock for me. The diversity was kind of hard, and taking care of patients from a diverse places was kind of hard. Communication was not a problem. Transition was not easy. Moving to a new country with different cultural norms and healthcare system was really a challenge. But that was a challenge I was willing to take on because my motivation really was my children. They were 7 and 2 at the time when they came. And it's really hard. Emotionally, I was away from my children because they followed me after I took the NCLEX exam after 3 months. So that was difficult. I was also struck by the diversity of US nursing workforce. I was able to work with people from all different backgrounds, take care of patients from different races and backgrounds. It's really very diverse, but it's a very good learning experience and opportunity. We have to embrace diversity. That is one thing that for me, it's a good experience, an enriching experience, because you have to appreciate and respect all people from diverse backgrounds. What is the hardest part of being a foreign nurse or coming from the Philippines? So coming to America is totally a new way of life. You have to adapt to the new healthcare system, policies and practices, the education and training, the technology, and the different style of communication. We as Filipinos were very respectful, kind, and very caring. So we are also soft-spoken. That is one of the difference that I have always observed. But the type of communication here, some people are loud and the way they speak, but for them it's their natural. It may be rude to us, but for them it's their normal way of communication. So we really have to understand how its diverse backgrounds communicate from one another. The way people interact with each other, the expectations for personal space, the norms of social interactions were all different from the way we do back home. But over the years of working, I was able to adapt with the American culture and norms of communication. Additional challenges that I had experienced is that about babysitting. My kids were small at the time, 7 and 2. So me and my husband has to alternate, and we decided not to put them in a daycare because aside from it's very, very costly, we want a healthier attachment, healthy emotional attachment with our children growing up. So then at the time, my husband was working full time, so we have to make ways where I have to take care of the children in the morning, and then during school I have to bring them and pick them up from school. So I worked night shift for a long time before I shifted to daytime. So what are the benefits of working nights? Working nights as a new immigrant, especially if you have small children, it is more flexible that you can do errands on the daytime, but the challenge really is you don't get enough 8 hours, 7 hours of sleep. So that was the biggest challenge. Babysitting the kids, bringing them to school. You have to wake up like 3 hours in between to check on them, pick them up from school. Somehow it worked. We were able to manage it. Right now they're all big. So thanks and for all the hardship, it paid off. We will also do a Q&A. I have some questions that I often get asked. But before we do that, for the benefit of those who were just offered a job here in America and you're still in the Philippines, or those who are going to transition soon to US working as a nurse, I would like to tell you important tips before you accept the job offer. All right? So number 1, research on the workplace culture. Why do we need to know the culture? It is very important to really research on the workplace culture to achieve a healthy work-life balance. You have to know the people, the kind of culture the organization has, and the values and the mission and vision that it's going to align with your own values. I am very lucky though that our hospital is a strong faith-based Catholic organization. So it really helps out holistically and spiritually, although it's very diverse. I can do another video on that because we have so many activities on cultural diversity, how they embrace the Filipino culture. So I am really blessed to have that kind of organization. Then second is, what does the benefits package look like? The health and medical benefits. What are the things that you should look into? You should look additional benefit package that you should look at aside from health insurance and dental insurance are flexible spending accounts, retirement contributions, vacation time, family leave, sabbaticals, and paid holiday time. These are all very important because these are additional benefits aside from your hourly rate. Then number 3, you do not only look at your salary rate, you have to look at, are there incentives for professional growth like tuition reimbursement, additional incentive for certifications, and trainings. So those are top 3 that I would suggest you should look at before accepting a job offer. Because there are those organizations that would give you more hourly rate, but the benefit package are not that excellent. So you have to weigh in. And if you don't really know yet, research, especially now, everything is available in the internet. You can research or you could ask friends. Like the way I did before, the internet was not that extensive, but I really did a lot of research. So I was able to actually negotiate for my salary. So if you want to do more of that, I will tell you that in another video because this is taking too long. So we will do a little bit of Q&A. All right. So are recruiters hiring nurses without experience in the Philippines? All right. So it all depends on the areas and units that they are going to hire. If they're looking at medical surgical nurses, they are accepting new grads. But even for our telemetry, I work in telemetry, I manage a telemetry unit. I do hire new grads. As a new grad, should I start in medical surgical? So it all depends on what kind of specialty and flexibility you have. Starting in med-surg is not bad at all, but if you really don't know yet what specialty you're going to venture in, so med-surg is a good start. I would rather suggest start in telemetry. We have a very good foundation in our nursing schools in the Philippines. So wherever you start telemetry, it's a very good place to start. Should I start on nights? Again, it all depends on where you are comfortable with. Many of us started in night shift because that's the open position usually. And it's also good to start on night shift to be able to adapt and learn the ropes of nursing, your workplace, your coworkers, and the team, new practices and policies, and technology, communication, and all that. But the reason for me that I really stayed longer in nights because of the kids, that I have to be there for daytime, and at nighttime my husband was there for the kids. So this is a good start if you have small children. How would you know if the salary offered is fair? Again, it depends on what state you're going to work because different states has different salary range. Like New Jersey is different from New York, we're different from Florida. So it's a good way to research, and it really is better to go with a direct hire rather than an agency. So there's no cut from your salary. And if you go for direct hire, you are automatically under their payroll, and your benefits will start kick in right away after you complete your orientation. I forgot to mention, somebody had asked me before, do you get hazard pay? We don't get hazard pay here in US. Maybe some other institutions or other countries receive hazard pay, but we don't get hazard pay here. But we do receive evening differential if you work evenings, night differential for night shift, and weekend differential. What are the range of those differential? Again, it varies depending on the institution. Some may do 2%, 5%, or 6% based on your hourly salary. And how long did you feel comfortable? It probably took me around 8 months to 1 year to be comfortable, because after a year I was assigned, I mean less than a year, I was assigned to do charge nursing and preceptorship. Maybe because of the experience I had in Philippine Heart Center. Another question, how do you manage challenges in the nursing profession? As I mentioned, our hospital is a strong Catholic faith-based organization. So in the morning, I pass by the chapel. There's a daily mass, but I do sometimes Wednesdays and the first Friday. I came from a strong Catholic background in my grade school and high school. I was in a Catholic school also. And I pray a lot. Pray and have a strong faith. Whatever it is or challenges you will have, you can always overcome. And again, as I also had said, workplace culture is very important, because if you have that kind of environment, they will always be supportive of whatever personal and professional challenges that you are having. You have the support system. And again, I'm blessed to have that experience in my hospital right now. And your nursing leadership, your nurse manager should always be supportive of all your, life situations. At the time, our nurse manager was very considerate, because sometimes when the kids I have to pick up or I have to bring to school, sometimes I would request for a change of schedule. So it was very good. She's very flexible, and she understands what the challenges are of having small children. One more thing. If you are applying or you're doing your resume, I encourage you to add all of those experiences, even if you are working in a clinic or a small hospital. Because now that I have been hiring a lot of new nurses or even new grads or foreign nurses, they don't include their experiences in like a community hospital. Please include all of those. I had hired like 2 nurses from the Philippines, and they had 5 years of experience in a community hospital, and she did not include that. But when I realized why you only have like 5 years of experience and then you graduated like this year, so then she told me that she did not include that because it's a community hospital and it's in the Philippines. Please don't underestimate, okay? Every years of experience is counted on your hourly salary package. So whether it's a clinic after your graduation, you have to include that because it's very important. Other hospitals may have $1 per year of experience or 50 cents per year of experience. It all depends on the institution, but please include all your years of experience no matter where you start, okay? I just don't want to forget that, because now I am a hiring manager, and I would like to give that tips because we kind of really like, we're very shy, we're introverts. Some are very introvert and they don't want to include those because they say it's a community hospital, but it helps. So include all of those. One last question, where did you finish your master's in nursing? I actually had 1 semester in the Philippines, 1 semester in UP, and 2 semesters in Concordia College. But I did not push through because of my transition to America. I was initially not intending to complete, but in 2012, I started again for my master's and I finished it in 3 years. So I mentioned you have to look at the professional advancement incentives in your organization because part of my tuition for my master's was paid by our hospital. So those are good things to look at. Get some insights and inspiration on our Sunday blog. So let me know what topics you would want to hear from me, and I would love to share more of my nursing experiences here in America. You can share it down below and comment, like, and subscribe. So I'll see you next Sunday and have a good day. Have a blessed day. I love you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.